Today, I am bringing you one of your favorite types of videos, and that is a food prep. We are doing all the things today, but we're going easy. Nothing fancy, nothing spectacular, hopefully nothing that is going to take forever and ever. I am gonna use every tool at my disposal. I'm talking stovetop, oven, air fryer, Instant Pot, other Instant Pot, maybe the blender, who knows. But we are just going to get in, we're gonna get out. So the first thing I'm gonna do is to get my chicken going. So in my Instant Pot, I have some chicken thighs and chicken breast. So I am not gonna cook everyone in here. I'm just going to season everyone in here because ain't nobody got time to be dirtying a bunch of stuff. Do you feel me? Please say you do. So let's start seasoning. I am not measuring anything. I am just throwing stuff in. I'm gonna zhuzh it up, and then our chicken breasts are gonna hang out in here and cook. Our chicken thighs are gonna go in the air fryer, and then we're moving on. Come on. So I'm gonna go in with 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And that's just to help get like all the seasonings really adhered to the chicken. So I'm going in with some pink salt, and I'm just gonna do this. We have a lot of chicken in there, so I threw in like 2 pinches. I'm going in with some onion powder. So the next thing I'm going in with is adobo seasoning. This is one of my, there's like nothing left in there. I might just, this is one of my favorites. I love this so much. I'm gonna do a little bit of turmeric because you know I love turmeric in like everything. Very anti-inflammatory. The other thing is garlic powder. So I'm gonna finish this one, and then I have another one in there. She's working, she's working. All the seasonings. To activate and really get the turmeric working, I'm gonna throw in some black pepper. And the adobo seasoning already has a little bit of black pepper in it, so we are where we are. This is an arm workout. Great day. Okay. I'm gonna get all of this mixed up together and make sure that the seasoning is really connecting with like all the chicken. So you can see in here the chicken breast, the chicken thighs. We have a lot of people in here, so if you thought I was using too much seasoning, now hopefully you won't, because there's a lot of good stuff going on. Our chicken is all mixed up, so now I'm gonna grab the air fryer basket. We're gonna throw our chicken thighs in there, get those guys cooking, and then we're gonna set the Instant Pot to cook our beautiful little chicken breasts. So I'm gonna take these guys and I'm just gonna put them skin side down. And they're going to cook at 370 degrees on the first side for about 20 minutes. And then on the second side, I will flip them over and they'll cook for another 20-ish minutes at 370 degrees. So we're just gonna nestle in there. Everybody be friends. All right. Oh God, she's a little heavy. Next up, we're just gonna take care of our chicken breast. So I have 4 chicken breasts in our Instant Pot. So I am going to add a little bit of chicken bone broth, and that's just to give it some liquid in there so that it can steam up a little bit. And in the end, I just want to shred it up and make sure that it is nice and tender and has some moisture. Chicken breast can really dry out, and ain't nobody got time for that. So I am just using this Kettle and Fire organic chicken bone broth. It is hands down one of my favorites. So I'm probably gonna do like 1/4 to 1/2 cup, and let's just settle on 1/3. Let's settle on 1/3. So we're gonna pressure cook our chicken breasts for, I'm gonna give it 10 minutes. And we're gonna pray that's the right amount of time. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get our sweet potatoes into the other Instant Pot. So let's get cracking on that so that we can move on to bigger things. I am obsessed with sweet potatoes. No one loves them more than my beautiful, delicious husband. So I do try to make sure that like if not once a week, once every other week, we have sweet potatoes ready to go in the fridge. They're so delicious with eggs, with everything. All right, these guys are good. So we're going to pressure cook these guys. And I'm going to do 20 minutes because there are quite a few of them. And now we have 3 things we can potentially cross off our list: our chicken thighs, our chicken breast, and our sweet potatoes. So let's get our roasted potatoes going so we can throw them in the oven, and then we're gonna work on some egg bites and broccoli and things and magic. Let me show you my favorite part of this entire process. Here lies my list. So sweet potatoes, done. Chicken breast, done. Chicken thighs, done. What do we want to do? Oh, roasted potatoes. Why did I forget that? So I'm going to use a cookie sheet with some parchment paper, and that is going to be where our potatoes live when we get them all cut up. So I am going to cut some herbs, and I just have some thyme. I just love potatoes that are herbed. They're so delicious. If some of the little stems from the herbs get in here, it's okay. Live your best life. No one's gonna die. Thyme is one of my absolute favorites. This summer, I grew some thyme in my garden, and it was, I did not grow it from seed, so please don't be impressed. This is not a flex in any way. I did grow it from some little baby plants that I bought at the Home Depot, but I grew them just the same, you know? And they were so beautiful. The thyme, I think I had 4 different flavors, and it was ridiculously delicious. So we're going to use some rosemary, and we're gonna use thyme, and we're gonna live our best lives, and that's gonna be fine. So, done. So I'm just gonna give these a rough chop, just so they are small and you're not biting into large pieces of rosemary, especially because she's a strong girl. She packs a punch. All right, I'm gonna push these guys off to the side of my cutting board, and I'm going to start cutting potatoes. So again, this is rough, like nothing has to be perfect. In fact, I feel like if it's not, it's better. It looks quite rustic, and that's the word we're going to use today and always, because there's no perfection here, right? The only thing I do want to make sure of is that I cut everything pretty uniform so that it cooks at the same rate, and we don't have like overcooked potatoes and undercooked potatoes and then perfectly cooked potatoes. No one wants that. My potatoes are nice and done, and by done I mean they're just cut up. So now it's time to give them some flavor and get them going in the oven. So first things first, I'm going to take our beautiful cut up herbs and I'm going to drizzle them on there, just give them a little sprinkle. And honestly, just like this, they look so freaking pretty. But I am telling you, if you have not tried fresh herbs, do it. Run. Don't walk to your grocery store or to your garden and grab your herbs. I'm talking here. Good Lord. Grab your herbs and just get this going. So I threw on our thyme, our rosemary. I'm gonna hit this with a good bit of salt because potatoes can take it. And I'm using a lot of the same flavors that I use for the chicken because they're just my go-tos. I have some turmeric that I'm just going to lightly sprinkle on there. Some garlic powder because, yeah. Some onion powder. I'm doing some red pepper flakes just to give it a little bit of heat. This is mostly for my beautiful, delicious husband because he loves it so much. And then a little drizzle of oil. And this, again, it's gonna help them to get golden and a little bit crispy, but also to help the seasonings stick to the potatoes. So we're gonna go with just a little little drizzle. So that was maybe 2 teaspoons, maybe. So I'm just gonna use my yummy little hands to get this all mixed up. I know these are not cooked, but they smell very good. I just lost one. Oh, I just lost 2. Dang it. Oh, this color is so pretty. It smells amazing. Will I add some onions to this? Oh God, I don't know, I might. A good like fresh onion is just, it's everything. So I think I will. I'm gonna wash my hands really quick. And then I think I'm going to throw some onions just right on top, no bigs. Un momento. I thought I was too lazy, but it turns out this flavor is just way too good to pass up. So I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna cut these onions in just like some chunky strips so that if anyone wants to pick them off, and by anyone I mean me, then it's easy to do. Why are you throwing them in there if you don't like chunky onions? Because I like the flavor. And I'm just a weird girl, right? I'm just a weird girl. There you go, onions. Make friends. Everyone be nice. Our oven is preheated, so I'm gonna throw our potatoes in. Oh, she is hot. And I'm gonna set a timer for 40 minutes. 40 minutes. So next on our list is our egg bites. So I'm gonna start by getting some prep done, and that is a zucchini and an onion. So the onion, I'm just gonna finely chop. The zucchini, I'm going to put through the grater on our little box grater so that it's nice and like thin, kind of just melts into everything. So I'm gonna start with our onion and just get this guy finely chopped. I love the flavor of onions, like I've said, I don't know in how many videos, but I just don't like them to be chunky. So I'm gonna make them really small, and then I'm going to cook them first and make sure they become really tender and translucent, and it's gonna be perfect. We're gonna move on to the zucchini. So I just cut the little end off, and we're just gonna grate. All right, zucchini grated. So I am going to grab the zucchini by the handful, and I'm just gonna give it a really good squeeze. I want to extract as much of the water as I can, but I'm just gonna use my hands because I don't wanna dirty a bunch of stuff. So I'm gonna add the zucchini to the onions, and it's fine for these guys to cook together. And also, these still have a little bit of moisture in them, so they're gonna help the onions to steam up and cook that much faster. And while those guys are cooking, I'm gonna work on our turkey bacon, get it all cut up, and then we're going to move on. So the next thing I'm gonna do is work on our bacon. So I have 2 packs of turkey bacon. I'm just gonna take these and I'm gonna cut them into thin little strips so that they fit well in our egg bites. And then as I stir all the ingredients together in the pan, they will break up a little more, which is perfection. The turkey bacon is all cut up, so I'm gonna take this cutting board and put it over there by the pan, and as soon as the onions are nice and tender, I will get these guys in. I'm gonna throw in my mushrooms, and that is going to be the mix. So our chicken thighs are done. Nope, I'm kidding. One of the Instant Pots is beeping. I don't know who's beeping, so we're gonna check things out. There's a lot happening. We're gonna check things out and keep moving on. Baby. So this is what we're working with, our beautiful chicken breast. So there is that bone broth at the bottom. So I can take some potato starch or tapioca starch or flour or cornstarch, and I can make a slurry and thicken that up. So I do think that's what I'm gonna do, just to give it a little something. And that way when we put it over rice or potatoes, there's like an extra bit of moisture to go with our chicken breast. So let's do that. So to make our slurry, I'm just gonna use some organic potato starch, which is what I have. But again, you can use cornstarch, you can even use flour. So we're gonna use this, and I'm gonna do a heaped tablespoon. I'm gonna throw in some water, and I'm gonna stir it up until the starch is dissolved. The chicken is nice and tender. This is beautiful, it's perfection, and it is getting a little thick, so I'm gonna add a little more bone broth because I went a little hard on the potato starch. But no big deal. I'm just giving it a rough chop right now, a rough shred with our wooden spoon. Oh, look at that. So pretty. So I hit pause. I got a few things going in the kitchen. I just did a little cleanup just to make life easier and give myself a nice clean slate. So in that time, I did take the chicken breast out of the Instant Pot, put it in a container, so she is off cooling. In that same Instant Pot, I threw in our chickpeas. All I did was cover them with water. They are going to cook on pressure until they are done. So I'm gonna say like 18 to 20 minutes. That said, our sweet potatoes are done, so those guys are cooling over there. We will get them mashed in just a minute. I checked on our potatoes that are in the oven. They're not quite there, so I threw them back in to let them finish. Our chicken thighs are done, and now we're gonna work on our egg bites. So our filling is finished. As you can see here, the turkey bacon cooked up. I threw in 1 8-ounce pack of sliced mushrooms, and then just with my wooden spoon, I just kind of broke the mushrooms up. And now it is time to fill our little muffin cups. Okay, let's get these guys into the oven. They're gonna cook at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. And really it's like 20 to 25. What you're looking for is to make sure when the timer goes off, you kind of jiggle the muffin tin. There shouldn't be any movement in your eggs. It means it's not cooked yet. So make sure that they are fully cooked. You can also insert a toothpick or a knife, and if it comes out smooth, then you're good to go. So let's get these guys in. Look how pretty they look, and they smell so good, and look at the crispy onions, and amazing. My very next magic trick is steamed broccoli. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heads of broccoli, and this is what I am working with. So I am just gonna get these guys cut up and get them steaming. I don't know about you, but I am obsessed with broccoli florets. I love them so much. When I was little, I called them trees. I didn't really love them when I was little, but as I've gotten older, I can really appreciate a broccoli moment. So I just try to do these like bite-sized pieces, and those guys are going to steam up, and then we can have them with every meal if we so choose. But it's nice that they're already steamed. There's no extra work. It's just warm it up and off we go. So the next thing I'm gonna work on is our steak with our onion and some mushrooms. So I'm gonna get the onion cut up. I'm just gonna use the pan where I made the filling for the egg bites. I just gave it a little wipe down because, you know, we're fine. So I'm gonna cut the onion into some thick strips just like before. And it's really for me so that it's easy for me to pull the onions out, because again, love the flavor. I don't like to eat them. Not when they're big and chunky anyway. You know what I mean. If you can get your hands on this shaved ribeye, we get ours from Walmart, and it's so good. It's just nice and thin. So I just cut it in half, and then I go in and I cut these into little strips like so. You definitely want a sharp knife for this, so You're not just like cutting back and forth forever and ever. So excited. So I will throw these into the pan, season them up. And again, like, I just need them to cook. I'm not gonna have them on the heat for long. I just want them to cook slightly through, but to still be tender. The onions and the mushrooms are nice and cooked up. So now I'm gonna add our steak to them, and I'm going to get these guys seasoned up. And again, they're not gonna be in there for long. It's just a few minutes to get them cooked through. But oh my gosh, my excitement. So I'm gonna hit these guys with a pinch of salt, like so, maybe a little more. I'm also gonna go in with a little garlic powder, or a lot of garlic powder, because garlic and steak. Little onion powder. I love using like fresh onion and garlic, but I also love adding the granulated stuff. It just gives it like extra depth of flavor, and I'm obsessed. Then I'm gonna do some cracked black pepper. I turn the heat up just a little bit. There's a lot of meat in here and I don't want it to steam. Because I have mushrooms and onions in here, there's a lot of stuff and not a lot of real estate. So I wanna be careful, I wanna be quick. I do not want steamed steak. I just want it to cook through, and then we'll take it off the heat. So and steak done. That is it. So again, what I try to keep in mind when I'm cooking things, especially meat, is that this stuff is gonna get reheated. So when it is reheated, I don't want it to end up like jerky or leather. I want it to be tasty and tender and chewable. I don't want anyone's teeth to break, you know? No one wants that. We're finally done. I cannot legitimately say how much time this took. It feels like an eternity, but I will tell you, every time I am done with a food prep day, I feel so accomplished. Look at all this beautiful food that we have working here. So let me give you the rundown. We have our chickpeas here, and to make these, I just threw them in the Instant Pot. I covered them with water. I didn't add any seasoning or anything. I want to leave the option open to turn these into hummus if I so choose. I will say I did soak these overnight, and actually in this case it was like 2 nights, and that's because I meant to food prep yesterday and I didn't. So these guys, they are dry. I did soak them, and so then I cooked them. We have our oven roasted herbed potatoes with some onions in there. These guys are so delicious. I love them with some breakfast or really any time of day. I love a potato, but these guys are good. You can see they are nice and golden. There's turmeric in there to help boost that beautiful golden color. They have some crisp, amazing flavor. I can't wait, 10 out of 10. Next up, we have our chicken thighs. So if you remember at the very beginning, I threw them in the Instant Pot with the chicken breast, seasoned everyone with the same stuff, and then these guys went into the air fryer. They cooked at 370 degrees for 25 minutes on the first side, which was skin side down. And when the timer went off, I flipped them so they were skin side up, and they cooked for another 20 minutes. These guys are nice and crispy. One of the things I love about cooking in the air fryer is that all of the fat just drains out to the bottom. So the chicken or whatever you're cooking in there is not sitting in a bunch of oil. I love it. Also, like, they just get so crispy and delicious. It's a vibe. Next up, we have our steak. So this is shaved ribeye that I get from Walmart. I just cooked this with some onions, some mushrooms, just an 8-ounce container of sliced mushrooms. And I threw this in the pan. These guys cooked for maybe 5 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. These guys are nice and tender. They have some good flavor. They will go well in an omelet. They'll go well on top of a salad. I mean, you name it, delicious. Next up, we have our steamed sweet potatoes. So these guys went into the Instant Pot, and when they were done, all I did was take the peel off. I threw some cinnamon on top and mashed them up with a fork. They are that tender. Moving on, we have our steamed broccoli. So I have these reusable Ziploc type bags that I get on Amazon, and these bags are perfect for the broccoli. So I have 2 bags of steamed broccoli. This is 6 heads of broccoli. They have a tiny bit of a crunch to them, but that's perfect because when we reheat them, they won't get all mushy. They will then just like finish their little cooking process and they will be chef's kiss. I also have 3 cups of rice that I cooked a little earlier today. So this was not cooked on camera, but I did make it part of the food prep. I just ended up cooking it early because we had some for lunch. Next up, we have our shredded chicken breast. So these guys cooked in the Instant Pot. I cooked them with some chicken bone broth, and then when it was done, I added a little slurry of potato starch and water in there and just made a nice gravy for it. So really it's like a thick sauce that is kind of clinging to the chicken breast. And I love it, especially for chicken breast, because chicken breast can really dry out if you're not careful. So I am terrified of drying out my chicken breast and ending up with some jerky. Ain't nobody got time for that. So this is the perfect solution. And then when you reheat this, like on top of your rice, the rice kind of absorbs that beautiful, just, oh, I can go on and on. Last up, we have our beautiful egg bites. They're going to be so freaking good when we have them for breakfast or as like a little snack. These guys are super high in protein. They have the turkey bacon, onion, zucchini, mushrooms, and the eggs, but these guys are so good. This is our bounty. I'm so happy. We are set for the rest of the week. Everything we eat, I mean, we have so many different combinations here. It is unreal. If you have any questions about anything that we made here today, feel free to comment down below. If you want to know what the macros are for any of this, also feel free to comment down below and I will tell you.
But I don't have time to eat healthy. I know, I used to say that too, like a lot. But here's the truth that transformed my life and my journey. It's not about finding time, it's about creating it. And today I'm going to show you exactly how 60 minutes of prep saves me hours of stress and decision fatigue every single week. Hey friend, it's Shantel. And if you're tired of feeling like your health goals are always just out of reach, or if your energy levels are on a constant roller coaster, then stick around. This might just be the game changer you've been looking for. You know that saying, failing to plan is planning to fail? Well, when it comes to supporting our hormones and maintaining steady blood sugar levels, this couldn't be more true. Trust me, I've been there, done that, and I've learned this firsthand. Let me show you how I set myself up for success every few days. It's really not about fancy meal prep or complicated recipes. It's about creating a foundation that makes healthy eating practically automatic. Here's the game changer I've discovered. When you prep your proteins every 3 to 4 days, you're not just cooking, you're creating possibilities. Every piece of protein I'm prepping right now could be tomorrow's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. This flexibility is super key and critical because, let's be honest, our energy and hormones can be so unpredictable from day to day. And here's something most people don't talk about. When you're working to balance your hormones, having ready-to-go protein can be the difference between staying on track and reaching for whatever's quickest when hunger hits. The beauty of this approach is that it supports your body's natural rhythms. When your blood sugar is stable, you have sustained energy throughout the day. No more afternoon crashes that send you reaching for quick fixes that might throw your hormones off balance. Think about it. How many times have you skipped a healthy meal simply because you were too tired to cook? Listen, I have been there so many times. The other thing I've done is reach for something that I knew wouldn't serve my body well just because it was convenient. Can you relate? That is exactly what we're preventing here. Here are my top tips that have made this sustainable for me, and hopefully it'll help you too. First, keep it simple. I like to focus on whole foods that love my body right back. And let me tell you, your body will tell you what works if you just listen. My next tip is to prep every 3 to 4 days or whatever frequency works for you. For me, this keeps the food super fresh and prevents overwhelm. It is frequent enough to ensure variety, but not so often that it becomes a burden. My next tip is to make everything multi-purpose. Each protein and side that I cook should work for any meal. This gives me freedom while maintaining structure. My next tip, listen to your body. Choose foods that energize, not inflame. And make sure you pay attention to how different foods affect your energy and your hormone balance. Remember that this isn't about perfection. It's about creating a sustainable system that supports your health goals, balances your hormones, and gives you the energy to show up fully in your beautiful life. This is what real self-care looks like at pretty much any age. It's not a quick fix, but a consistent practice that honors your body's needs. Every time you prep, you're making a declaration. My health matters, my energy matters, I matter. If you're ready to start your own prep ritual, here's your action step. Pick one protein or just one item to prep this week. Just one. Notice how it feels to have this food ready to go. Notice how it affects your energy, your choices, and even your mood. This one small step can be the beginning of big changes in your health journey. Remember that every time you step into the kitchen to prep, you're choosing to invest in your health and vitality. Let's keep moving and healing together, my friend. Drop a comment below sharing your biggest food prep challenge. I promise I read and respond to all of these, and I am here to support you. One of the things that has served me the most in my health, wellness, and fitness journey is making sure that I'm prepared at all times. And I do mean all times. Look, I don't know if you're like me, but I don't need an extra excuse to fall off the wagon. I don't need an extra excuse to want to eat out, right? I have done so well these last 4+ months. I think I'm in month 5. I don't even know, I've lost count. But all of that to say, I've done so well because I have been consistent with prepping my food, with making sure that I am just on top of my food game, on top of prepping all the things. Today is one of those days, and I'm actually making extra stuff because listen, I feel like every time I come and post a food prep video, I have a new method, and today is no different. I'm just gonna tell you right now, today is no different. I have figured out that instead of having 2 days a week where I do food prep because everything is just staying in the fridge, I am now just not revamping. I have revamped already. It's done. I took my previous method and I streamlined it a little more. So now I am food prepping 1 day a week, and I cook for the entire week, and I put heaps of food into the freezer, and then I just have the stuff that we're going to use in the next 2 to 3 days in the fridge. This I have been doing now for probably a month, maybe a little more, and I am going to tell you, I'm obsessed. It takes a little extra time, but honestly, it really doesn't, because when I was doing food prep 2 times a week, it was taking like an hour and a half, depending on what I was cooking. I also had to make sure that in my infinite spare time, I was making time, really scheduling time to be in the kitchen for a while to get the cooking done. So it's not just the cooking part, right? The actual food prep itself, it's maybe an hour or so when I was doing it 2 times a week, but then there's like all the cleanup, there's the prep, there's all the stuff. Now I am knocking this out 1 day a week. It maybe takes me a couple of hours, maybe 2.5 hours, depending on how much stuff I'm cooking. And it's done for the week. I don't have to think about what we're gonna eat. We already have heaps of food in the fridge. We have even more in the freezer just waiting to be devoured. And it makes me so happy. So today, I started by throwing some Yukon Gold potatoes into the Instant Pot. I couldn't remember what it was called for a second there. So I started by throwing some Yukon Gold potatoes into the Instant Pot. And I did this with 2 Instant Pots because I happen to have 2. One is kind of like a rice cooker for me, but I didn't want to just go with a rice cooker because then it just has one function, but that's not why we're here. So I have 2 pots going because I just want to have potatoes in the fridge, and then I want to have heaps in the freezer. After that, I got some eggs going because I love to just be able to grab a snack and something that is a whole food, not processed, very clean, and is going to respond well with and in my body, and that is a boiled egg. So it's nice to just grab and go. So I have some of those guys going, and then I am making heaps of ground beef. So I have 4 pounds of ground beef here that I'm making, and this is going to actually be for 2 separate things. One is just to have ground beef that we can have with rice or potatoes or on a salad or whatever. And then the other half, the other 2 pounds, is going to be for the breakfast hash. I think I've made this recipe on my channel a couple of times. It is seriously, I make it every single week. I love it, but my husband is full on obsessed with this recipe. It's also just, it is a club banger because it's high in protein, it's low in fat, and it's low in carbs. It is just, it's super satisfying. It kind of checks all the marks and all the things. I will link that video here so you can see the full recipe, but I am telling you, because I make this every week, instead of like chopping up my potatoes and making sure they're like in little cubes, now I full on throw the cooked potatoes in there, like the freshly cooked ones, and I just mash them up with the wooden spoon because ain't nobody got time. I am trying to get in, I'm trying to get out. I have a lot of stuff to do, and cooking is not the only thing on my list today. So I really just want to make sure I am making the most of my time. And if I don't have to dirty another knife and I don't have to spend extra minutes just sitting there chopping up hot potatoes that are hard to chop up, then I'm not going to do it. But I will tell you, in my food prep process, one of the things that I have learned along the way is that I need to clean up after myself. I just need the counter space, right? Don't we all need the counter space? And when I have this much stuff going on, a messy kitchen can really just become overwhelming quickly. So I need to make sure that I'm staying on top of my game. So with the breakfast hash, like this little baby is almost done. I took my boiled eggs that were sitting and cooling. I put them back in the little carton. So I have, I think, 16 boiled eggs, and this is just perfection. It's more than enough. And my husband will also have some as a snack. So I have taken care of the steamed potatoes, the Yukon Gold ones. I have taken care of the hash. She's done. The boiled eggs are done. I am moving on now. Did I miss anything? I don't think I did. I am moving on now to some chicken breast and cod. These are also like, these have been in the rotation for the last, I don't know how many months. The cod is a new one. We started getting cod maybe about a month ago. And this is also just such a great option if you need protein and low fat. The cod is a good one. So I am just obsessed with these Simply Organic seasoning packets. I always read the ingredients, make sure that they are as clean as I can possibly get them, but they are such a game changer. They save time. I love that I can just rip a little envelope open, throw it into the food, throw it on the meat, whatever, and it is going to give so much flavor, and I don't have to do anything else. Oh, so with the chicken breast, I added cilantro lime seasoning. And with the fish, I added a fish taco seasoning, and oh my gosh, the little seasoning packets are amazing. Next up, I have my Yukon Gold potatoes, and to these guys, I took all of them, dumped them in the largest Instant Pot. I threw some olive oil on top, a couple packets of Mediterranean lemon seasoning from Simply Organic, and I am rough smashing these with my wooden spoon. It's not a mash, and it's not like huge chunks. It's kind of in the middle. Some of it is more mashed than others, but this just really ensures that all that seasoning gets inside and gives all the potatoes just beautiful flavor, and oh, so good, so good. Then I'm just going to start putting things in containers because that is the point here, right? To have all this food prepped, ready to go. So these containers I got on Amazon a few weeks ago, and I have been loving them. I think you can also get similar ones at Walmart. You can kind of get them anywhere, but I love them. I love them so much. They make this process so easy. And I just label them. I mean, you'll see me go through the whole thing, but it's just been wonderful. Moving on, I have thrown some sweet potatoes into the Instant Pot, and we're just going to mash those little babies up as soon as they're done. Then I'm going to also make some rice. This is just white rice. And instead of doing water, I'm going to replace the water with bone broth, and this is chicken bone broth, so it's adding protein, it's adding a little tiny bit of fat, and oh my gosh, so much flavor. I love doing this. I love using bone broth to just flavor up anything. rice, mashed potatoes, whatever. I love it. And you will see, like, I think I ended up doing just a little over 3 cups on this day. And for that, I use 1 1/4 cups of liquid water or bone broth per cup of rice. Then I do a tiny little drizzle of olive oil, a little bit of salt, stir that baby up, and I cook it for 4 minutes per cup of rice. So today that ended up being 12 minutes. Moving right along, it is time to cook up our chicken breast and the cod. And let me tell you, I have talked about this griddle before. She is a lifesaver. I mean a lifesaver. This is the Beautiful by Drew Barrymore griddle, the extra large griddle at Walmart. I am obsessed. As you can see, I use her all the time. Like, you can see the ring on the surface where the heating element is, but I love this thing so freaking much. I love the size of it because I can put a bunch of stuff on there. I have made turkey bacon, pancakes, all kinds of stuff, like you name it. And then when I'm doing chicken and fish and whatever I'm doing on this griddle, I can just put so much on there so it cooks that much faster. And this chicken breast, of course, is incredibly thin. So these little babies need like 1 to 1.5 minutes per side, and they're good to go. Then it's the cod, and you can see the ring, the heating element, but I love this thing so much. It really does save me heaps of time. And I just don't have a pan this big that's going to allow me to put so much chicken or fish or whatever in at once and not steam up. I feel like because I've been doing this food prep system, this process for a while now, I kind of have this down to a science. I know exactly how to time my things, what needs to go when, break out the 2 Instant Pots, make sure I don't have too much stuff on at once because we don't need to trip any breakers. Trust me, speaking from experience. But just knowing I'm giving up some of my time on one day out of the week to just get all of this done. And then that means throughout the entire week, I don't have to worry about what we're having for breakfast or lunch or dinner. Even some snacks are taken care of. It's just so nice. When we see that we're running low on something in the fridge, we can just go into the freezer, look for a replacement container, and into the fridge it goes. It'll just thaw overnight in the fridge, and you know, we're just happy campers. But this, I know it takes some time, but it actually saves heaps and heaps of time. When I was cooking on a daily basis, that cooking process seriously was like at least an hour every single day. And it was just, some days, you know, when you're tired, you're just feeling overwhelmed and you're like, the last thing I want to do is get in the kitchen and start cooking or try to figure out what I'm going to cook. And now this solves everything. So a little bit of sacrifice up front, but totally worth it. This is our gains. Like, look at all of this food. Oh my God. When I tell you my soul is like singing, my soul is so happy. Of course, the time sacrifice, but look at the rewards. Look at all of this food. We are set. So now all I do is I put the covers on these guys, and then I'm gonna take some masking tape. It's like the painter's tape. I put a little strip on each lid. I label it with what the food is and the date that I cooked it and threw it in the freezer. And this just helps us so much. This way, when we add extra stuff to the freezer, say I'm gonna add more beef, I can look in the freezer, see if there's beef already in there, and I'll put the oldest one on top so we know to grab that one first. But, you know, as a whole, just knowing when you cooked it is a very good idea. So this process, a little bit different from the last one that I posted where I said I was doing food prep 2 times a week, and that worked out for a long time. It really did. But this 1 time a week situation has just been such a game changer. It has really just freed up my week where, like I said, I don't have to worry. I don't have to think about these things in advance. Like, what are we having for lunch? What are we having for dinner? We already know what we're having. We have the same staples every single week because they work with our programs. They work with our calorie recommendations and our macro recommendations. We know these foods are not inflammatory. So perfection. I love it. I'm so happy. And that is our food prep for today. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up, you subscribe, and you click that notification bell because all of that really supports my channel and it means the world to me. I will see you next time. Today's a super rainy day and I figured what a perfect time to do some food prep because we need some food up in this house. So I am going to get ready to do just a few basics, and really today it's all about the proteins. We burn through protein. I feel like it's really easy to add some sides, rice, potatoes, greens, whatever, but the proteins, they just take a little longer. I don't know. Is it me? I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, I am just getting things ready. So I am warming up the oven. I'm getting my griddle, and let me tell you, this griddle, I love it so much. This is a Beautiful by Drew Barrymore griddle. I got her at Walmart. I think she was $49.99. Like, I've had it for several months now. You can see the ring on the actual griddle. That I think is where the heating element is, but I use this lady all the time. She is fabulous. And the reason I love to cook my meats on here, really when I'm doing food prep, is because I can just smash out a ton of protein at one time on this griddle. It makes my life so much easier. It makes the process go so much faster. I'm a huge fan. I love it. So I am starting off by browning some chicken breast on my beautiful griddle. I have it set to 325 degrees and I just brown on each side for maybe like up to 5 minutes. I'm not trying to cook them on the griddle. I just want to get a nice like brown golden exterior, and then these little babies are going to finish cooking in the oven. Now, the griddle, you know, when I'm cooking meat on there, this stuff has a tendency of splattering, so we need to put on our apron because ain't nobody trying to get oil and stuff all over their clothes. You know, nobody has time for that. This process though with the griddle, it saves me so much. So I started my prep yesterday and all I did was get my chicken all cleaned up. I have chicken breast and I have chicken thighs. And then I seasoned these little babies up, let them hang out in the fridge overnight. And I'll show you in a few minutes what I used to season these guys. But seasonings, I've said this before, it is the perfect way to just change up the flavor of whatever you're cooking. If you happen to cook like chicken breast every single week, to avoid getting tired of it, just throw on some different seasonings, different flavors, and it changes things up magically. I love it so much. So now that our breasts are done getting nice and golden here, I'm gonna put them in a casserole dish and they are gonna get covered up. I typically do some foil paper with a little bit of parchment, and then into the oven they go at 350 degrees for 25 minutes. Now, before all of that goes down, I am going to throw my chicken thighs on the griddle. And this is really where my inspiration came from for cooking meat on the griddle, was the chicken thighs, because I was doing this in a pan, and while the pan is a fine way to go, it was just taking forever because you have to do it in batches. You don't want to overcrowd the pan because that is a whole thing. Your meat ends up steaming and that's not the vibe that we want. So it's so nice to just spread these guys out on here. I think I have put up to 12 chicken thighs on this griddle at one time. I have cooked steak on here. I have done like steak strips. I have done a bunch of eggs, a bunch of pancakes. I've done turkey bacon. I've done breakfast sausages, all kinds of stuff. This griddle, she has more than paid for herself, probably 100 times over. I know that's an exaggeration, but I love this griddle so much. I use it seriously every single week, several times a week, especially when I am cooking my proteins, because it just makes my life so much easier. Also, if you haven't noticed, I take these little breaks in between when things are cooking and I'm waiting, and I just get my little dance on because it's raining, but that is not going to stop me from being in a fantastic mood. It's also Friday. I am living my best life right now. I really am. I'm feeling good. Things are progressing so well in the gym and with my grounds program. I mean, things are just going well all around, and we are so blessed. I get to be at home right now and make these beautiful chicken thighs and breasts and just do stuff. But that aside, let me show you the seasonings. This is my absolute favorite seasoning right now. I've been using this for probably a couple of months, but it is this Peruvian seasoning that is just so freaking good. I get it at Whole Foods, but like I said, your favorite seasonings, just change it up. So you change up the flavor, but in this particular batch of chicken, I use that Peruvian seasoning, some pink salt, some black pepper, some garlic powder, some adobo seasoning, a little chili powder, and some turmeric. And oh no, not chili powder, sorry. Turmeric, yes though. And I just got everything in there with a little bit of olive oil just to coat the chicken and really get the seasoning nice and spread around on everything. But oh my God, that Peruvian seasoning is so delicious. So when I'm cooking my chicken, especially the thighs, I have a tendency to flip these guys like probably 3 times just to make sure that everything is nice and golden. But oh my gosh, the process goes so quickly on a griddle. Do you have to run out and buy a griddle just to have success in the kitchen and make your process that much faster? No, you absolutely do not. However, if you want to do what I do and live your best life like I am living my best life and just breezing through this food prep, then I highly recommend getting a griddle. I will link this one in the description below. I do not make any money off of this, I promise you. I am just a huge fan. I love it. And if there's something I love, I just want to tell you about it. So then, our beautiful little thighs are done. I'm just gonna put them on this cookie sheet so they can cool off, and then they will go in the fridge later on. But look at how beautiful and just crispy and golden, and oh, the flavor, 100 out of 10. That Peruvian seasoning is just so good. I cannot sing its praises enough. Between that and this griddle, I don't know what makes me the happiest. But in any event, we're moving on, and I am about to cry my eyes out because onions. Do you feel me on this? Am I the only one? The onion life, when you're cutting them and the eyes are burning and they sting and the tears and all the things. I'm about to make some ground beef. And so I'm cutting up 2 large onions. These babies are large and in charge. And I'm gonna start off by sweating my onions. Usually I do a water saute, so I'll put some water in here, or I'll even do a little bone broth. Today, I'm just gonna try sweating them on their own without extra liquid because onions have enough liquid on their own. Just to help the process, I threw in a little bit of salt and, we're good to go. These are just my goodies that I'm going to use to season up my ground beef. And this ground beef is actually going to serve 2 different purposes. One is that we're just going to have ground beef to add to rice or bowls, taco bowls, like whatever. And then the other half, the other 2 pounds, is going to be used for the breakfast hash that I've made, and I don't even know how many videos now. I will link it here so that you can go check it out. But I've seriously made this breakfast hash like maybe 2 times a week for the last month, maybe more than a month. I don't even know, but it is so good. It is the perfect thing to have in the morning. So full of protein, so full of flavor, just delicious. So if you're keeping count, I put a bunch of goodies in here. Some chili powder, turmeric, garlic powder, adobo seasoning, some black pepper, pink salt, fresh garlic, and then I went in with some chicken bone broth and some salsa. I am gonna let this cook down, and really it's kind of like to stew the meat. I find sometimes that ground beef or ground meat as a whole can be a little tough, and this ground beef is 93.7, which means it's 93% lean and 7% fat. So I just like for it to cook down just a little bit and become a little more tender. These are the goodies, our beautiful chicken thighs that are nice and crispy and golden and just delicious. Our chicken breast that's super juicy, super tender, so full of flavor, I can't even stand it. And then our ground beef, 4 pounds of ground beef, but 2 separate purposes, and she is gonna be so delicious, all of this. My prep is done. This took me, I think, about an hour. I think it was about an hour, but I am just doing my happy dance. I am in such a great mood. I'm so happy this is done. More than anything, I got to share it with you, and I love it. If you enjoyed this video, and I really hope that you did, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up, you subscribe, and you click that notification bell, because all of that really supports my channel, and it means the world to me. I will see you next time.